Let me see. Testing, testing, T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, turkey sandwich, testing, testing, T minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and let me get everything all set up again. Keep moving forward. All right, keep moving forward, LA. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, Pikachu knees. All right. All right, let me try this now. How does this sound? Okay, that sounds good. Part 2 is in full effect. While that's going, I need to go into my settings and set the tone. Set the tone meaning label my video. It is time to label my glorious video. Let's see here. We've got live. I tell you, with each live stream I do, the lights are always different. This time the camera don't look as good as the first live stream. Let's just say that. There we go. So how can I fix this here? Let me minimize this. LA, use your brain, girl. I am trying to use my brain as I get this reset up. Testing, testing. Ollie oxen free. So I need to get this relabeled. A Christmas story recap, copy, and go back. What's going on? Thank you. Good morning. This is actually part 2. I had to restart the live stream because I was buffering too bad to the point that I had to just start over. So what I'm doing is redoing everything in the background. Let's see here. Let me move this over. Hopefully this live stream will show up to be, the second time around will be better. So I'm getting the description ready. Hey guys, thank you for coming in. High five. Good morning to you. Good evening, good night, or good afternoon. The time for me is 6:04 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on a wonderful Thursday morning. Thursday is my Friday, and I feel so chilled and relaxed. Yesterday's live stream was very long. It's the intentionally very long live stream show with Basket Head comes on Wednesdays. And what we do is cover movies. The movie we gathered around the bonfire for was a movie called The Signal. It was a sci-fi movie and it was good. Let's see here. We've got the content. Let me pull up another menu really quickly. Yesterday I was saying it seemed like it was Thanksgiving, so I just pretend it was Thanksgiving, because why not? And today it still feels like Thanksgiving. Maybe because we're still coming off the helms of holiday food, and holiday food will be with us for quite some time. Until January, the first week in January, we will be eating food, holiday food. When the fall season arrives, prepare to gain some good old-fashioned weight. But you'll be able to lose it all back when spring, summer. Hey, good morning. How are you doing today? Right now, I am getting my video reset up. I had to restart the live stream because I had some buffering, so perhaps this time around it'll be better. My cool peeps who came into the last live stream helped me troubleshoot this to see if there's anything I could do to make it a little bit better by like clearing the cookies and try clearing my search history to see if it'll free of some of the space in there. So I'm believing that will work. And now I'm transferring my information over to the new live stream. I'll be picking up where I left off prior, which is the Christmas Story. That movie is really fun, and I wanted to talk about it in a little more detail to see some of the things that I know I missed, because the movie's been out for a long time. So now it's come to the point when I do watch that movie, I more or less have it on in the background, like the radio. You know how you have the radio on in the background to keep you company, to help keep you in the momentum when you're doing work around the house? Well, that's how this Christmas Story movie has turned into, where I just like to have it on in the background. It's got good ambience, a good feel, and I like to get things done that way. So I'm prone to miss some things, and y'all, I miss some things. This goes under the category of Freestyle Thursdays. So while I'm chatting with you guys at the same time, I'm in YouTube Studio, putting the description in here, and push save and get rid of this portion, and I should be good to go. These hashtags don't even need to be in here. I need to take these hashtags out. It's misclassified. Good morning, guys. Let's see here. So today I have popcorn and I have some cereal left. I don't think I'm going to eat the cereal this particular live stream, but I will be live streaming. Excuse me. I will be live streaming again later on today, and I will be live streaming covering the Joe Budden podcast. The Joe Budden podcast is for mature audiences, but I do like the show. So what I do while I do a live reactionary video on those podcasts, I just censor it, because you know they talk about some things on there, so I just don't repeat what they're saying. But it's great content, guys. So I really look forward to that one, but that's going to be sometime after I do my Thursday hangouts, which is called Freestyle Thursdays. I want to thank you guys for your patience. I appreciate you guys. Once again, I had to reset the live stream over because the first one was buffering pretty bad, and I want my cool peeps, which are you and you too, be as comfortable as I am while watching or listening to this. Heck, come on, cursor. Y'all ever try to highlight something and it starts to highlight the whole page, and you're like, come on, I just need you to highlight the one word, right? Not the whole thing. I roll. A Christmas Story. Not A Christmas Carol, A Christmas Story. There we go. Guys, we're cooking with grease. I am moving forward. A Christmas. I think I did everything I was supposed to do. I can close this out. Let me maximize this to double check everything before I part 2. Excellent. High five myself. I did it. Working under pressure. I don't like to work under pressure. That's not my forte. Many people during my time of growing up always prided themselves for working under pressure. I'm like, I don't like to work under pressure. I like to be as proactive as possible and plan ahead. If I had to work under pressure, I will, but that's not what gets me going. That stuff be scaring me. I'm like, so you basically like to wait for a situation to, do you like to wait for the roof to cave in on you before you get up off your rear end and get things going? Is that what you're basically saying? I don't want to be around that, because like the 3 little pigs, I took my time and built my fortress, and I'll be dang if I had to turn around and help you because you wanted to. waste your time twiddling your thumbs, being a couch potato, thinking someone's going to help you. So I'm looking for my own live stream now, y'all, so I can read the comments over here too. I found it. The next thing is I'm going to get the survey back set up. Perhaps I can remember what I said. Perhaps I can remember what I said last survey and put it in here now, right? What do we have here? All right. This is cool. Next thing is, I want to give a shout out to all the YouTubers, the new YouTubers as well. I'm considered an OG YouTuber and I like that title. I wear it with a badge of honor. But there's some YouTubers around, they're struggling on their platforms or have gotten copyright strikes on their platform or had to go on timeout. I'm glad that you are keeping the spirit of wanting to keep going. You know, that could be a blow to the system when that happens. And I'm wishing all of you guys to be able to have those strikes removed so you can go on getting back to your business. I want all the YouTubers who have received strikes on their platform to be able to actively, live stream again, or just be able to YouTube without having the strike on their head. So one wishes to all the YouTubers who kind of went under that YouTube strike situation and got their channels stricken down. I'm sorry about that, and I'm wishing you all the best. Thank you guys for coming back in. Hey Tarsus, welcome back. Yeah, 2025 has been a wonderful year for me, full of challenges, definitely. But in life there are challenges, but these challenges this year have been particularly peculiar. It's as if these challenges did not come from Voldemort, a predictable energy, but these particular challenges came from somewhere 2.3 tiers higher than Voldemort. But here I am, still standing. Yeah, like the song. So just right now at 6:14 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I finally got everything back set up on my end. I made the thumbnail really quickly and put part 2 on it. The video is successfully labeled, and I have my notes back up here. The next thing I need to do is put the survey in. Thank you, Tarsus, for returning, because you certainly did not have to. What did I put in here? Thank you so much. That's all you can do. As cliche and exhausting and as tiring as it says, keep moving forward, you have to. Thank you so much. Have you seen the Hercules, the shark? Thanks. SPECIL. And I'm thankful. I'm counting my blessings because I actually remember what I asked you guys in the last live stream. So I'm typing it in here now. Through this problem or technical issue, you have to turn your tests into a purpose. And I need to look up to see who actually said that, because he basically said what I'm always telling you guys, but he said it basically in a more pseudo-intellectual way. I'm smart. Yeah, I think it was Ty Boogie. Thanks. That's crazy, Tarsus, but yeah. There's a YouTuber, I believe, named Ty Boogie. He just got a YouTube strike on his channel, and it won't be removed until March. And then there's Storm and Roll, who also got a strike. But in addition to that, I saw on another podcast, I think Clownfish, they're cool. They're a duo, a guy and a gal. They are like nerd media. But I thought I saw somewhere on their platform where it was like YouTube was doing another type of purge where they were striking people's channels, like this mass striking situation. So, which is why I'm bringing it up. Shouts out to all the YouTubers who unfortunately went under fire with the striking of their channels. And I hope that everybody's strikes be removed before the end of this year so we can just start fresh. Have you seen the Hercules the Shark Thanksgiving special? Yes, no, and aw, heck. I didn't. DIDNT, but will now. There. So I started the survey. I remember the question. So the next thing I want to do is wait for YouTube to pop up there's a pop-up that will come on my cell phone, and I'll be able to ask you a question to stick at the top as the sticker. Let me see here. And since I'm on the jelly roll of reset, I'll be able to remember what that sticker was too. I'll write it down. Yeah, the Hercules the Shark Thanksgiving special, which was basically last Friday. Hi, welcome in, and you're from New England? Thank you for coming from New England. Yeah, so I'm going to write this down really quickly. Dang it, what was it? Favorite winter sport? Or, favorite winter sport. There. And also, guys, in the midst of you guys helping me with my live stream, the one prior to here, in reference to that, when you were helping me troubleshoot, I saw that there were like 3 new features that popped up on my Android. So I'm wondering if that also has something to do with the interference of my stream buffering. There's new features that are popping up, and I didn't get a chance to explore them yet. They came right down here at the bottom, and it looked weird and cool at the same time. There was a button that came up, and within that button, it was like 6 little buttons at the bottom. I don't know what that is, but hey, in due time, it will show up again. So we're talking about A Christmas Story, and I have how many storylines are actually in the movie called A Christmas Story, because I know there were more than 4 or 5, and it's true. There isn't a fixed number of storylines in the traditional plot scene, but rather a series of episodic tales and reoccurring subplots that include the BB gun quest, the old man, the school bullies, the triple dog dare, Randy's struggle, and the decoder ring. In addition to, him wanting to get the BB gun as a present, and all the adults, including Santa Claus, were saying, hey, you don't want to get that for Christmas because you'll what? You'll shoot your eye out. So that was the whole thing that was going on throughout the whole movie. And you know what happened? He messed around and got hurt, just like they said. So I did see one of the cool peeps had, I'm thinking it was in reference to what I just said. They were like, you'll shoot your eye out, you'll shoot your eye out. one of the cool people in the last stream typed jinx, and it was like, yeah, it's like they jinxed them, and it happened. But he tried so hard not for it to happen. Oh, my hair. My hair, I washed it yesterday, and it feels a lot better. It feels a lot lighter too. I used the blow dryer and everything. It's a little flat. I don't know where the fluffiness went, but this is my hair. There's my Q&A sticker. Try it. Excuse me. Oh, come on. I pushed try it. YouTube, can you please bring back the Q&A sticker? I pushed try it and it went away. The movie A Christmas Story is best described as having one central quest, Ralphie's desire for a Red Ryder BB gun, around which several distinct yet interconnected vignettes or mini storylines are woven. The narrative style is decentralized, resembling the collection of short stories tied together by the common theme of an American Christmas in the 1940s, all filtered through the adult Ralphie's narration. Thank you. So, having said that, this is a question I wrote down. Where is it? What year did the movie take place in? Because it says 1940s, and I'm like, I don't think that movie was based in the 1940s. Was it? When was the... What year? The Christmas Story. CHRISTMAS story. What year did A Christmas Story take place in? Let me see. Searching. I didn't know that. It looks so modern. It says it here. The movie A Christmas Story is generally considered to take place in the 1940s. The filmmakers intended for the exact year to be slightly ambiguous to foster a sense of timeless nostalgia. But several specific clues within the film point to the year 1940 or the period just before the U.S. entered WW2. I didn't even know that. When I watched the movie, I thought it came out in our time. Mind blown. So much to the point, I had to find that mind blown emoji and copy and paste that fun fact into the live stream. Mind blown. Let me see here. Let's see here. Hey, what's going on? Thank you for coming in. I'm up here looking for an emoji so I could express myself to the fact of what I just read in reference to A Christmas Story. I'm about to copy and paste it in here. I did not know this. Copy and paste. Did you guys know this? The Christmas Story, the movie that we're talking about, aka You Will Shoot Your Eye Out movie. The movie A Christmas Story is generally considered to take place in 1940. The filmmakers intended for the exact year to be slightly ambiguous to foster a sense of timeless nostalgia, but several specific clues within the film point to the year 1940 or the period just before the US WW2. Key historical and visual clues in the film include Little Orphan Annie decoder pin. I did see the Little Orphan Annie decoder pin, but I still didn't make the connection that it was period based in 1940, because in my mind, I'm like, whoa, they're still trying to keep the story of history alive, you know, so this is a representation when kids go to school who are younger, how they link the past to the present. So I didn't even look at it as that, no, that's the year they were actually in, because to me everything looks so modern. The wall calendar. A calendar visible in the Parker kitchen clearly shows the month of December with dates corresponding to the year 1940. Still didn't catch that, because even if I did see that, it didn't make any logical sense to me, because once again, to me, everything in that house and about it looked modern. Lack of wartime references. There are no mentions of the U.S. involvement in WW2, war bonds, or rotary. What is that? Rationing, which places the events before December 1941, when the U.S. entered the war. And then cultural milieu. That might be cultural melee. I'll need to look it up, because I had to look up the word vignette. Vignette looks like a difficult word to pronounce, but when I copied and pasted in the dictionary and asked for a phonetic breakdown, it's easier to say it than to try to read it on your own. You know how they say sound it out? Well, I failed miserably trying to pronounce vignette, because it don't look like how it sounds. Thank you so much about the earrings. I was picking them out on, what to wear on the first live stream, and I chose these. How do I pronounce the word milieu? Show. I still don't think I'm going to pronounce it right, but here is how you say it out loud. I'm going to listen to it. How do I say this word? Milieu. Wow. Cultural milieu. The film features vehicles and clothing styles consistent with the late 1930s and early 1940s. References to The Wizard of Oz, released in August 1939, also confirmed the period. I didn't pick that up neither. While some minor anachronisms and conflicting detail exist, as memory can blend detail from different years, the overall intended setting is in Christmas of 1940. So what year did A Christmas Story come out? Let me see. What? Okay, so Christmas Story was released in theaters in the United States November 18th, 1983. So it did come out around my timeline. So I'm right about that. Not that I'm trying to be right. I'm trying to put the pieces together to make it make sense for myself. A Christmas Story came out in 1983, but it was a period-based movie. That is how I can tie this up to make it make sense. Because when I watched movies as a child, I didn't have a clue that movies could be period based. I don't think I wasn't introduced to the term or the verbiage of movies being, period based until I think I was in 10th grade. So that was a lot of years that passed before I even realized that that was a thing in reference to film making at all. While the film takes place in 1940, it was released decades later and became a holiday classic in the years following its debut. So what do they mean by the film was released decades later? What? Oh my gosh. Decades, D-E-C-A-D-E-S, later. When was this movie originally intended, I-N-T-E-N-D-E, to be released? Let me see. Same year Hercules was on the bodybuilding circuit. No way, high five. Sounds about right. So this statement simply means, oh yeah, guys, over on my end, thank you for the hearts and the expressive emoji floaties. I don't see them on my cell phone, but I see them on my Chromebook. It says here, the statement simply means there was a significant gap between the time the movie was set, the 1940s, and when it was actually produced and shown to the public, the 1980s. The film was never originally intended to be released at an earlier date. It was conceived and made in the 1970s by the filmmakers and was released exactly when they planned it, which was November 18th, 1983. Got it. Okay. Greetings from Italy. Hello. High five. Hey, cool peeps. How are you guys doing? Welcome into the show. Continue on. AI Overview says about this movie, the decades-long gap refers to the nostalgia at the heart of the story. It is a modern film looking back fondly at the childhood experiences of author Jane Shepard that took place roughly 43 years prior. The film was intentionally a period piece designed to evoke the specific feelings and look of the 1940s Christmas. Got it. Yeah, as I update my Rolodex index of the Christmas story, moving things around in my mind and making room for new, updated, and more current events regarding the Christmas story, I'll be able to put the pieces together more. I am updating my thought processes in reference to A Christmas Story right now as we speak. So when the movie is mentioned again, I have a fresher perspective on how I can intake the movie and not only relate to the movie a little more, find different, even deeper, more deeper meanings in the movie, and to wash out some of the confusion that I had in reference to this movie. My Hero Academy, I remember that. Let's go. So here's another question that's already provided, and I like it, so I'm going to click on it to see what it says. What scenes in the Christmas story depicts the culture of the 1940s? Shouts out to the 1940s. Several scenes in the Christmas story meticulously depict the culture of the 1940s. Those specific details related to technology, where? Technology, fashion, media, and social norms. That might be through. Though and through look like the same dang word, y'all. Man. Home life and technology. Home life and technology. You guys, my shirts are starting to stretch around the neck. Oh boy, I shouldn't have said that. Look who is rising from a deep slumber. Look who's decided to resurrect. If your shirts are starting to stretch around the neck, maybe it's time for you to get some more. I will when I'm good and ready. Now, you get out of grown people's business. I had not had to talk to you at all. And now you decide to wake up and show your face. Now that you're up showing your face, get to work and go in that kitchen and what? Make them dang on pancakes. I'm gonna make them dang on pancakes when I'm good and ready. I thought your hair was getting bigger. Man! Oh, no, you got it wrong. You must be talking about LA. LA, he talking about you, your head getting big. He sure ain't talking about me. Get out of the way and sit down. Please, go in there and make them pancakes. Please. All in the camera. So regarding what scenes in A Christmas Story depict the culture of the 1940s, we've got radio and entertainment, the decoder pin, the furnace. You guys remember that part? That's a fun movie. And you know, before I started live streaming this morning at 5, I did look to see if they had that movie available for us to watch for free on YouTube, but it's not available. But the furnace scene, the home decor are all telltale signs of depicting the culture of 1940 in this movie. So what scenes in A Christmas Story depict the culture of 1940s? Radio as entertainment. The primary source of home entertainment is a large wooden radio console. Not wood radio console. Uh-oh, what am I knocking over? I need to adjust. I get a little bit more comfortable. There. The primary source of home entertainment is a large wooden radio console. Ralphie eagerly listens to Our Little Orphan Annie radio show to get his secret message, and the family listens to music and news broadcast on it, as household television did not yet exist. I didn't even catch that they didn't even have a TV, because the way things were set up, I thought they were just poor people, you know, so they didn't have a TV. Or if they had a TV, you didn't get all the channels, you know, so I didn't even catch that. I thought they just still were living in a modern time in the, 70s, where they still had the option to choose between television, which probably only had 5 channels and it was black and white anyways, or to listen to the radio. So you know those sweet times when timelines are starting to transition, where it still's got the old school vibe and the option to usher in technology. So I thought pretty much that's what this movie was, and they chose old school technology, which is to gather around the fire and listen to the radio opposed to clicking on the TV. I didn't have an idea that that's all they had until now. The decoder pin is another reference point of A Christmas Story depiction for the 1940s, and it says the entire subplot about the Little Orphan Annie decoder ring highlights the popularity of radio serials and promotional tie-ins like Ovaltine. Right, the targeted children during that era. Shouts out to Ovaltine. I roll. Please give me some Nesquik chocolate milk, please, if I had to choose. The furnace, the old man, consistently battles an old temperamental coal furnace. Not coal furnace, y'all. They was using coal. You're not supposed to be using coal. Nothing in your house. Wow. The old man consistently battles an old temporal coal furnace in the basement that emits smoke and drives many of his rants, reflecting a common household chore before more modern heating systems were widespread. Hello. Home decor. The Parker home features authentic period details like an antique telephone, feast-aware dishes in the kitchen, chinchilla bedspreads in the boys' room, and crochet dollies on the furniture. Through my point of view, I just thought it was a poor family who got everybody's leftovers, which were things set at an older time. That's through my eyes watching The Christmas Story, that's how I viewed it. Like, growing up, if you wanted to, if you didn't have a lot of money, we were poor growing up, okay? So in my circle, in my circle of poor people, there were like Goodwill, Salvation Armies, hand-me-downs from the church, where the heck, if you were willing and bold, Didn't care what you found on the street to furnish your home to make a way. But the fact of the matter is you had a place to stay. So usually those types of people, including myself, the things that we got were always like a decade behind. So it was always a reflection of how much you were on the financial status. If they went to your house and saw, let's say it's year 2025 now, and somebody is just getting started off in their new apartment and they have stuff from the 90s. It's not because they're a retro head. It's just because it's stuff that nobody wants because it's like 20 years old, but they use it. So it dates their house and thusly makes them look poor. So I thought that's what A Christmas Story was about. But to my surprise, that's not the case, right? So I tell you, you learn something new every day, and I do look forward to watching this movie again with a fresh perspective. Shouts out to Fresh Perspectives. So once again, the home decor is a reflection of the 1940s in the movie A Christmas Story. The Parker home authentic period details like an antique telephone, feast-aware, dishes in the kitchen, chinchilla bedspreads in the boys' room, and crochet dollies in the furniture. Fashion and appearances as we move forward. Let's see. We've got let's see here. I'll put this one in here. Followed by that and bada bing. Ooh, what's that emoji? That looks new. Let's see. We've got winter fashion and appearance in reference to A Christmas Story being based in the 40s. Winter clothing's mother's attire and the pink bunny suit. Winter clothing, the cumbersome layered wool coats, caps, and boots that Ralphie and Randy must wear to go outside reflect the typical winter attire from the time. I actually thought it was winter attire from the 80s. But no, it was apparently winter attire from the 40s, which is a reflection of me being born in war in the movies that was period based in the 40s. We were wearing that stuff, so henceforth we were poor, and that's a reflection because everything I saw in that movie we had in our house the year that movie came out. So I thought it was a modern day movie about modern day times because that's how we were living. So there you go. So that dissolves some more of the confusion about the movie, like in reference to me watching it through my eyes growing up as a young Padawan. So the pink mother's attire. Miss Parker consistently wears practical house dresses and has hairstyles typically of pre-war feminine aesthetics, contrasting with the old maid's work suits. I like those old maid's work suits because those come with pockets. Let me check this out one more time. Let me look this up really quickly. I like a dress with pockets. Where your old lady is showing. Sit down. I'm an old soul. I'm an old soul, y'all. I like dresses with pockets then. When I was a child, when I was an actual child, I like dresses with pockets. And now that I'm a grown woman, I still like dresses with pockets. The old maid work suits, didn't they? In the front. Yeah, this is a fantastic Thursday for me. Exactly. The traditional maid or work uniform dresses often included large functional pockets, typically located in the side seams of the skirt or its large patch pockets on the front, to which I prefer the pockets to be on the front, of an accompanying apron. The old maid in historical workwear refers to a style of utilitarian dress or costume rather than a specific brand name. These garments were designed for practicality. Exactly. So they included pockets for carrying necessary work items. So yes, so once again, as a reflection of me being an old soul, I thought the dress that their mom wore was still modern times because women worked and women needed pockets. And if they liked wearing dresses, why not go for a dress with pockets? Pockets are essentials for smuggling snacks. Oh my gosh, Tarsus. In reference to key features regarding the pockets, aprons with pockets, dress pockets, historical context. Historically, actual servant uniforms prioritized functionality over fashion and were made from durable fabrics like cotton or wool, almost always incorporating practical storage solutions, unlike high fashion dresses of the same era. Exactly. So I do like those types of dresses because it says all those things. They're tough, they're durable. I don't have time if I'm going to be cleaning the house in a dress with a dress. I need to have room to be able to move around, plus to have pockets. So once again, that was my point of view watching this movie. I actually thought it was a more modern movie. Come to find out, it was not. It was based in the 40s. Another piece of evidence to show us that the Christmas Story was based in the 1940s is the pink bunny suit. Ralphie's humiliating pink bunny suit gift, while a gag, is a homemade hand-knitted item, a reflection of the era when homemade gifts were more common than mass-produced items. I didn't know that she made that, y'all. Wow. So let me find a bunny rabbit. Bunny rabbit. Oh, come on. Not that. R-A-B. There it is. I didn't know that she made I-Y-A. I didn't know that their mom in the movie made the bunny rabbit suit. I thought she just got it from a mail ordering service. There, fun fact. I did not know that their mom in the movie made the pink bunny rabbit suit. I spelled suit wrong. I thought she got it from a mail ordering service. Here's something else for those of you who didn't peep it out like I didn't, to let us know that this movie was actually based in the 40s. Social norms and community. Department store Santa. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, man. You kind of sound similar to a shark person I've seen. Tell me all about it. I tend to hear that when I go to make my daily run to McDonald's. They're like, you sound like someone. I don't know who you are per se, little black woman, but you sound like someone we watch named Hercules. Really? You don't say. Department store snuffleupagus. Wouldn't that be so righteous? Here for it. So we've got social norms and community. We've got the in reference to things that showed us that the movie A Christmas Story was based in the 40s. Department store Santa. All right, department store Santa, neighborhood bullying, parenting styles, car culture, and the Chinese restaurant. All key points in the movie that I'm interested in seeing. The trip to the Higbee's department store depicts the classic ritual of visiting the Santa Claus in the grand decorated retail setting, a growing American tradition in that area. I can relate to this because we had a couple of malls that were going at the time in the small town where I lived. And both malls, the big mall and the little mall, which was dying, but both malls at the same time had Santa Clauses. And even in our grocery store, there was a Santa Claus, which was weird. But yeah, there was a Santa in our grocery store. A Santa in your grocery store. And he will pass out the miniature candy canes. Shoot. But oh man, I also learned through the eyes of a child that there were two variations of candy cane styles. No, there were three. And in the inner cities, we had the small individually wrapped candy canes, and when you went to the more well-established side of town, there was another Santa Claus where they passed out the full-size candy canes. And that's also when I started to realize that there was, before I knew the terms, socioeconomic boundaries that one can cross or struggle to make it across based upon what type of Santa each community got and what type of candy canes the said Santa passed out to the children in the communities. I want to say shouts out to the people who are choosing to be a recluse for the rest of their lives, because I mean the world can just weigh you down when you're just observing life and want to have a good time. I get it. But you must come outside to check your mailbox. Candy canes. We have neighborhood bullying. Do we have candy canes? Oh, we don't. The closest thing to that is, let me look. There's Bunny Rabbit. Where's the candy section? This is whack. So this might show up. This is supposed to be a candy cane. The closest thing I had to a candy cane is that. On my desktop, it shows up as black. As on my desktop, or should I say on my laptop, this candy shows up as red and white. But on the Android, it shows up as just pink. But there we go with the candy canes. How you doing today? Thank you for coming in. The way my camera is set up, it looks like I'm not engaging with you guys. I kind of don't like this angle, but that's just how my setup is. I'm reading the screen on here. So we've got the neighborhood bullying. The dynamic with the neighborhood's bullies, Scout and Grover Deal, depicts unsupervised, not unsupervised children roaming the neighborhood, a common scene in pre-suburbia and pre-digital America. Heck, they still roaming the streets to this day. Parenting style. The use of Lifebuoy soap to wash Ralphie's mouth out with soap after he curses, and the mention of corporal punishment by his mother and teacher reflect an accepted disciplinary method of the era that are less common today. Hey, what's going on? Thank you for coming in. Welcome in to the show. We've got car culture. The automobiles seen on the streets are all period accurate models from the late 1930s and 1940s, such as the 1940s Ford Deluxe, showcasing the automotive design of the time. I need to look this up, y'all. Wow. I want to see how those cars look. Used in the I gotta type quieter, more quietly. The main car in the Christmas Story is the 1937 Oldsmobile 6 Touring Sedan. Not 6 Touring Sedan. This picture AI overview is showing this car looks so toe up. It looks like the car from Dairy. Are you guys watching the Dairy series? Isn't it on HBO? Dairy with it. The car that they're showing me that was in the Christmas Story, it looks like the car from season 1, episode 1, The Dairy, when that creepy family picks up that little one and they're in the car, right? That's the car that is in A Christmas Story. What in the world is going on? The Parker family uses it to get their Christmas tree, and it's the vehicle Mr. Parker is driving when the old fudge tire changing scene occurs. Yeah, I watched Dairy last night. Yeah. I tell you, man, it's a good show. I like that they're getting in depth more behind the eye of it. Pun intended. Pun intended. So moving forward in here, let's see, we've got the original movie car is now, the original movie car is now owned by a mechanic, and it sometimes features at car events and the Christmas Story House and Museum in Cleveland. Did you know that there's a Christmas Story museum? I didn't. In 1937, Old Smith Mobile 6 Touring Sedan, the family's primary car, famously featured in the time change in the snow scene, which is a good scene. Hello, how you doing? Good morning, a good day to you. 1937, I saw that already. In current status, the specific car used in the film is still in existence and is occasionally shown at events and the museum dedicated to the movie. I didn't know that A Christmas Story actually had their own museum. Another thing to talk about. So this did show me, it talked about one movie in particular, not one movie, it talked about one car in particular, but I wanted to see how the cars looked in the 40s. So since AI Overview said that the Christmas Story movie, they used only the cars that represented the 1940s, what I can do is Google, can you please show me cars from the 1940s? From the 1940s. Let's see, cars from the 1940s. These cars up here looking like the Wraith, you know, the Rolls Royce Wraith from Nosferatu. Good mercy, these cars look creepy, like they come bearing a message of deep, sad grievances and sorrow. I don't want to meet anybody driving one of these because all it looks like is death is near. Goodness. In the movie A Christmas Story, weren't they driving a station wagon? Well, I just read here, according to AI, that they drove something else. Hold on. The main car featured in the movie is a 1937 Oldsmobile F37 6 touring sedan. And now I'm currently looking at cars from the 1940s because they said when they did this movie, The Christmas Story, that they used only cars from the 1940s. So I'm trying to wrap my head around how those cars look from that time. Wow. Okay. So these are 40s cars. They look so nice. Like with the use of color. The ones that I first saw looked spooky, and they look more like a Rolls Royce Wraith, and those cars look scary. No thanks to watching horror movies because the bad people always drive them. So let me see this clearly, to answer your question completely. I want to know, was the station wagon in the movie Christmas Story? So I'll look and see if a station wagon had a splashy debut in the Christmas Story. It says yes, not a fire station. I said a station wagon. Hold on. Was it station wagon? Thank you, AI overview. Let me rephrase the question. Okay, so I asked, was the station wagon used in the Christmas Story? For further validation, no, a station wagon was not used in the Christmas Story. The Parker family drives a 1937 Oldsmobile 6 touring sedan. There is no station wagon in the movie, though some people may confuse it with other holiday films such as White Christmas, which features a Plymouth wagon. The car is a 1937 Oldsmobile 6 touring sedan. It's the car Ralphie's dad is driving when they get a flat tire, and Ralphie famously says, "Oh fudge." A specific vehicle from the movie is on display at the Christmas Story House Museum in Cleveland. We're not talking about horror movies in this moment. We're talking about the Christmas Story and the breakdown of it. So, Christmas Story movie recap, I should have probably put the word breakdown in there as well, because now that I have some time in my life, which is right now on YouTube, to educate myself more on this movie that came out a year before I was born, I am telling you guys at the same time how I interpreted the movie upon watching it through my childhood all the way up to my adulthood, how I viewed the movie, not knowing that the movie was set in the period of 1940. So it's really cool to unpack my old thought processes, make some room in my mind, and update how I view the movie based on more knowledge. And I'm happy about it because it gives me another opportunity to go over and watch the movie with intent with my husband, and we really can just chop it up about the movie. I'm like, did you know? He probably already knew a lot of these things because to me, he's smart. But for me to just bring it up, it'll be great dialogue throughout the movie. It's really cool. A Christmas Story put me in the mind of the Snow Wonder Years for some reason. The show Wonder Years. Yeah! Wonder Years, I liked the show. Whatever bits and pieces I was able to watch, I did enjoy. The Wonder Years showed me a whole world that I didn't even know ever existed on planet Earth. moving forward from that, what was I getting ready to talk about in reference to A Christmas Story? I think I was going to talk about the museum. Let me close out some of these tabs. The old, oh, we talked about that. And yeah, I can close out some of these tabs now. When did the Wonder Years come out? I know. When did the movie Wonder I'm going to give you an answer to your question where you said, A Christmas Story puts me in the mind of the show The Wonder Years for some reason. So perhaps we can tie the two together because perhaps maybe they came out at the same time. The movie A Christmas Story was released on November 18th, 1983, while the TV show The Wonder Years premiered January 31st, 1988. So 83, 84, 85, 6, 7, 88. That's a 5-year span. So that's pretty much the same dang age. So basically, A Christmas Story came out 5 years before The Wonder Years. So maybe that's why it makes you think of that, which is cool. Didn't they come out with the movie Wonder Years? Let's find out together. I'll look the question up for you. To me, it seems like they may have had two, like a reboot, or that might have been the TV show where there was a reboot. But according to AI Overview, no, Wonder Years movie has not been released, although there was an upcoming movie project announced on the Movie Ideas Wiki that was planned to be directed by Amy Heckerling. Some recent projects are often mistaken for a movie, like the 2021 reboot of the original TV series, the movie The Wood from 1999, which has a similar nostalgic tone, but is not a Wonder Years adaptation. Upcoming movie. Just one moment, please. Hello and welcome in from Nigeria. How are you doing? It's morning time for me. It's good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or good night to you. Thank you for coming in. Upcoming movies and adaptations was announced on the Movie Idea Wiki, but details suggest it was an announced project that was never produced in the film. So to further answer your question, Lord, it says here that it was in talks, but it never got off the ground. In the next bullet point, in reference to your question, original TV series. The original show ran from 1988 to 1993. I didn't know Wonder Years ran that long. That's why it seemed like it was with me for a while. It's kind of timeless. Wow. Reboot series. The ABC reboot, The Wonder Years, premiered in year 2021, but it is a TV series, not a movie. The Wood. This 1999 movie is often mentioned with its nostalgic feel, but it is a separate film from a completely different story and cast. I hope this answers your question. And thank you for that question because it helps remind me of the whole Wonder Years situation. So, there wasn't a Wonder Years movie. Good question, because for some reason I kind of thought there was two. There's a Wonder Years movie that was in the works of being done, but it didn't take flight. However, it is, can we agree to say that there was a Wonder Years original and then a reboot. So that much for sure. And then in addition to that, you said they're hitting us with the Mandela effect. I could have sworn I've seen Wonder Years the movie. This, to go close to your answer, is what AI Overview is saying me. The movie called The Wood. This 1999 movie is often mentioned for its nostalgic feel, but is a separate film from the completely different story and cast. So they're saying for people like us who thought there was a Wonder Years movie, according to AI Overview, what they're telling us is that we're getting the two movies mixed up. Once again, The Wood from 1999. So let me see how this looks. Maybe if we read about The Woods, the movie, we can see some close similarities. But hold on to that note of you really thinking that it was a movie, because maybe it was. But I'm going by what the computer is telling us and just trying to make some sense out of ever-changing news. Thank you. These earrings are really cool. I like them a lot. Okay. Can you please tell called as I wait for an answer on here. Thank you guys so much for pressing the like button. I have tons of likes, like 23 likes already. And 31 of my cool peeps have already participated in the survey. The 1999 movie The Wood compares closely to The Wonder Years. So once again, for the two cool peeps in the chat who are inquiring about the whole Wonder Years, was Wonder Years a movie or not? Here's a little bit more information in reference to the movie called The Wood, where they say we are confusing the two movies. The 1999 The Wood compares closely to The Wonder Years TV show. It is used in its use of nostalgia, coming of age themes, and adult narrator reflecting on his youth. Both are widely considered touchstones in the coming-of-age genre, but they differ significantly in cultural perspective and narrative structures. Key similarities: narrated flashbacks. Both productions use a central character as an adult narrator, Kevin Arnold in The Wonder Years, Mike in The Woods. To guide the audience through past events, this to reflect on and sense of looking back on defining moments. Coming of age themes. Both focus heavily on universal experiences of adolescence, first crushes, navigating friendships, dealing with peer pressure, and the journey from boyhood to manhood. And finally, nostalgia. Both tap into a strong sense of nostalgia for a specific era, the late 1960s, early 1970s for The Wonder Years, and the 1980s for The Wood. Music and cultural references from these times are integral to setting the mood. So here's why there could be a mix-up in some of us thinking that The Wonder Years came out with the movie. Not negating what you feel or think, because I too thought there was a Wonder Years movie. But the computer is saying that some people who are thinking the same thing are just simply mixing it up with a movie that came out that is in close proxy to The Wonder Years. So can we say that is it safe to say that there was a knockoff Wonder Years movie floating around called The Wood? The Wood is about a guy moving from Carolina to Los Angeles. So yeah, so thank you for that information, because I'm actually reading about that right now, how it compares with The Wonder Years. key difference is cultural focus and perspective. This is the primary difference. The Wonder Years offers a portrait of white middle-class suburban family, making it broadly relatable to a wide audience. The Wood specifically focuses on the experiences of growing up as black men in the middle-class Inglewood, California. The Wood. It explores cultural nuances, community dynamics, and specific challenges that come with that experience, which sets it apart for more generalized coming-of-age stories. To go on with what you were saying, The Wood is about a guy moving from Carolina to Los Angeles. Correct. Oh, now isn't that called The Woods? Woods. And continuing on with this last thought in reference to comparing the Wonder Years and the Wood dynamic, it says structure. The Wonder Years is a continuous episodic TV series following Kevin Arnold through several years of junior high and high school. The Wood is a single feature film that uses a specific event, a groom having cold feet on his wedding day, as a framing device for a series of key non-sequential flashbacks from junior high. Tone. While both blend humor and drama, The Wood touches on slightly more mature or urban themes in the 1980s context, such as encounters with the law or gang influences, which are portrayed realistically but are less the focus than in films like Boys in the Hood. In essence, The Wood is often described as an urban Wonder Years, highlighting their shared narrative styles and themes, but emphasizing their distinct cultural lenses. Wow, so having read this with more in depth and with more of an understanding, I just realized they're talking about this movie, just like you said. I'm familiar with that movie, The Wood or The Woods, but I didn't sit down and watch it. That's not my cup of tea, quite frankly. I don't want to say those kinds of movies. That particular movie style is not my cup of tea, but I will give a nod to it and give it a thumbs up because it seems to be one of those movies, a movie staple for our culture. So let me check this out. The Woods is a movie, isn't it? Yes, I know it's a movie, but I wanted to get a fuller understanding to educate myself. Let me see here. So I want to make sure I'm understanding this. The Wood. I thought it. Hold on. What is this? The Wood and. Gosh. So yeah. There's a movie called The Wood, Wood, which came out in 2000, and it's a comedy drama. And then in 2006, there's a movie called The Woods, Woods, and it's a supernatural horror. And then in addition to that, the one I think we're talking about is the one with, the African American people in it, or, the black people in it. And I want to see what it's called, because it's not listing it. Yeah, I know what you guys are talking about because I see the cover art in my mind. The original cover art for the movie about the black guys, getting married and all this stuff is black and white. It's white at the top, white at the bottom. In the middle is the picture of all the guys. But I am trying to find this movie online and it keeps taking me back to all these horror films. And that's crazy because... So here's some more keywords. I could put The Wood 1999. If the movie is that popular, it should come right up with all the movies that shares the same title of said movie, right? Exactly. I shouldn't have to go all around the bend to find this movie. No, I'm not talking about Sinners, but I just found the movie to tie in what we were talking about a reference to if Wonder Years had a movie. So when I asked AI Overview if Wonder Years ever had a movie, it said no, but basically a lot of people have been asking / wondering the same thing. And it was saying that we are probably getting it mixed up with a movie plot called The Wood. And The Wood is basically a movie that I just found for more validation. You know, it's a 1999 coming of age comedy drama directed by Rick 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 F. So it's comparing those two movies. So I started to get confused because I actually thought the movie, to which one of my cool peeps did say, you know, it's a movie about a guy going back to California. I thought it was called WOODS, Woods. It's just WOOD. Is that correct, or is that another one of those changes in history where they changed the title? Because the way I visualize it, I thought it said it was written in plural form and not singular. But here it says, yes, The Wood is a 1999 coming of age comedy drama. Now, I didn't know that it was a comedy drama because from the clips I saw with this movie and how people in my neighborhood grew up. I don't want to say hood because we weren't raised in the hood. But we did grow up in what they called the suburbs where black people lived. A mix of blacks and whites and Hispanics lived. But it wasn't a hood. But growing up, from what I can glean from my culture in that area, it seemed like the movie wasn't funny. So it threw me off when the description says that this is a comedy-based drama. Because growing up in that time still, movies were still evolving for us, right? So for an African-American film or a black movie to be comical, it will, for me, will have to display on the cover art, like Friday After Next. What's another movie that's obviously a comedy with Chris Tucker? Anything starring Chris Tucker at that time, based upon the cover art alone, you would know distinctly that it was a black comedy. But for The Wood to be a comedy, once again, that's where it was hard for me to make a match to what everyone was talking about in the chat. So once again, for my edification and clarity, yes, The Wood is a 1999 coming-of-age comedy drama directed by Rick F. It stars Omar Epps, Taye Diggs, and Richard T. Jones as three friends who reminisce about their lives while preparing for one of their weddings. The film is set in Inglewood, California, and explores themes of friendship and growing up in the 1980s. Plot: on the day of his wedding, Roland Diggs gets cold feet and his friends Mike Epps and Slim Jones try to find him and help him decide if he wants to go through the ceremony. Through flashbacks, they recall key moments of their shared childhood in Inglewood, which they call The Wood. I thought it was Woods. I was born in 1990, haven't seen The Wood. That's all right. I haven't completely watched the movie neither. I would hear about it a lot, so it's kind of like I heard enough to kind of know about it. But it's available if you want to see it. And the film features the main cast that includes Omar Epps, Taye Diggs, and Richard T. Jones. Other cast members include Sanaa, that's how you spell her name, Sanaa, Sanaa Lathan, Lisa Ray, what's up, Lisa Ray? McCoy, and DeAndre Bonds. I didn't know Lisa Ray was in there. Hey, girl. Director Rick also wrote the screenplay, which is considered somewhat an autobiographical. The movie was released in the United States on July 16, 1999. And you said it's not about the hood either? Okay. So, yeah. I just read the summary about it to kind of familiarize myself and to further educate me on what this movie is about. But we came to talk about this movie all because of the thought of wondering if the Wonder Years TV show had a movie. So this is cool. This is cool. So yeah, I'm adding it to my list to watch. Like I said, when I grew up, we lived in a uptight, over religious setting, and so a lot of things I, didn't gravitate to. But now that I'm grown up, and I have a family of my own, I would have no issue with sitting down watching this with my husband. Because it's be like I'm watching it for the first time, and with not so much negative connotation, if I'm saying it right, around my head, and negative thoughts about the movie, and black movie, why are you watching a black movie, girl? You don't need to be watching that stuff. So when I watch it, I won't have years of poor thought processes when I sit down and want to watch it with a renewed mind and away from toxic upbringing. So having said that, I'm very excited because there's a lot of movies that I did miss in my timeline of life growing up, albeit to that type of toxic thinking. But now I'm counting my blessings, turning my pain into something positive. So that means I have a lot more movies to catch up on and a lot more movies to buy at Goodwill, and because I like to have the hard copy. So I'm glad that you said you're going to add it to your list, your movie watch list. And I'm glad I learned a lot of things. All of these things I learned about movie facts were all interconnected from A Christmas Story. Who would have thought me wanting to talk about A Christmas Story will lead into us all talking about the Wonder Years and me educating myself about the movie called The Wood, which came out in 1999. And me counting the cost and being able to look forward to watch movies that I missed in my past and watch them now with a renewed mind. Shouts out to me for realizing I actually have a renewed mind. You separate yourself from toxic thinking and you just be done with it, not realizing now that this is an example of a renewed spirit, a renewed mind. So that's pretty cool. Nightmare Before Christmas is a wonderful movie, and it's funny because my first live stream today, I talked about the same thing in my first live stream. I came on here at 5 a.m., but the stream was buffering so much, so I didn't want my cool peeps, which are you guys, I call you my cool peeps, I didn't want you guys to have to suffer through buffering. Although my numbers were hitting on something great, I chose to end that live stream and make a part 2. So to answer your statement, Nightmare Before Christmas, I wrote that down in my notes because that's something I want to actually talk about this month, probably somewhere on the Freestyle Thursdays. So yeah, stay tuned. I have the Nightmare Before Christmas written on here, and I actually mentioned that in part 1 of A Christmas Story. So we're right on target. In fact, now that you mention it, because I do have a heart by it, but I use my ink pen to color in the heart so it can pop out more. Speaking of Nightmare Before Christmas, I do have, I think, 7 video uploads that I did about 4 or 5 years ago about Nightmare Before Christmas, but it's done in a comical way, and I'm presenting as a different character, and it's a voiceover. So it's this cat called the hashtag Meow Cat that comes on YouTube. He's technically our summertime cat, but since Hercules the shark came back by popular demand, Hercules the shark actually took the place of hashtag Meow Cat. But having said that, I have the Nightmare Before Christmas movie review, and the review is narrated by a cat. So if you are interested in that Nightmare Before Christmas, to hold you over until I talk about the Nightmare Before Christmas on live stream, that video is available. Let me see if I can Elay TV Nightmare Nightmare before Christmas. YouTube. Jack Skellington is everything. So Jack Skellington, Nightmare Before Christmas. Okay, so Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas full movie review. I have the full movie review, and then I have them broken down into pieces. So if you don't want to listen to the whole thing, and that was done December 16th, 2020 is when I made those Nightmare Before Christmas videos. So collectively, I've been on here a long time, so much to the point where I had to go use the bathroom. Usually I will be wrapping up right now, but once again, I had to start the live stream over. So if you guys don't mind waiting, be right back. Gotta go potty. I gotta go use the bathroom, and I'll be right back. Y'all, my tummy hurt. I got me some juice. Thank you guys for waiting. So what I'm going to do is The Nightmare Before Christmas. What I'll do is get the link and put it in the description. So if you guys are interested in watching the video or listening to my Nightmare Before Christmas review, you will be able to do that. Wouldn't it be nice if Nightmare Before Christmas is available for us to watch together on Wednesday? Hey, what's going on? Thank you. I'm happily married. I've been married for 10 glorious years. Thank you for coming in and pressing the like. What I'm doing currently is getting one of my older videos that came out 4 years ago. Tim Burton Nightmare Before Christmas full movie review by #Meowcat to share with you guys. So let me pull this up. Push copy. Then I'm going to go into YouTube Studio and place this link in the description. Let me set that down. Oh, I gotta put some lotion on my hands too. Hold on. One thing at a time, girl. One thing at a time. Shout out to all the cool peeps who watch my video upload. It's 1 minute and 58 seconds long. It's not a video. I mean, it's not a short, it's a video. I made it late in the night or late in the evening, and it's a fun little video. Okay, content. And live. Here we are. Okay, I found it. So I'm going into the studio. I'm going under this current video right now and put about the Nightmare Be Christmas. So here is a link to my review about that movie. So there's that on there, and I'll push save. So I just put the link in the description for the Nightmare Before Christmas in there. So there you go. I did not want to get off the live stream and forget to do it. It's giving 80s vibes. Thank you so much. Yeah, I am an 80s baby. I like the 80s style, but I like the current time we're in. It was funny because someone thought that this was a costume, because every day, like Monday and Tuesdays, I dress up as a cow. Wednesdays, basket head, and Thursdays is Freestyle Thursdays. So I show up as myself, not in costume. And they thought this was my costume. This is just me. Let's see. The movie, are you referencing A Christmas Story? Because you asked, should we watch the movie first? Are you referencing The Christmas Story, The Woods, or The Nightmare Before Christmas? Because I know in the title it says A Christmas Story. We did talk about Christmas Story and some nice detail as well. But however, talking about the Christmas Story, it led us to talking about the Wonder Years, because one of the cool peeps mentioned earlier in the chat how for some reason the movie Christmas Story also reminds him of the Wonder Years. And after talking about the Wonder Years, You cool people, my cool peeps asked, didn't Wonder Years have a movie? And I'm like, I kind of thought so too. So we looked for that together. And AI Overview was like, no, there wasn't a Wonder Years movie. However, there were talks about one, but it never got off the table. And in addition to that, it said people asked the same question, and pretty much the movie that is in close proximity to the Wonder Years was the movie called The Wood that came out in, I think it said 1999. And so that's where we are. Let me go down here to make sure everything I added in here, it worked out. Excellent. Channel dashboard. I'm going back into YouTube Studio because I want to spruce up something in the description to see if it will come across for all of you a bit more clearly. This is Freestyle Thursdays, where I show up as myself, not in a costume. There may be a time on Thursdays where I may have a costume on because I want to. But and for Thursdays, guys, it is technically my Friday. So, because your boy, backed by popular demand, Hercules Shark, he has the 5 a.m. time slot for Fridays now, so I don't have to be here anymore. So Fusion Fridays, we have Fusion Music Fridays, we have Hercules Fish Fry Fridays, and then we also have Premiere, where we just listen to music for a 30-minute set tailored around the celebration of Michael Jordan shoes. I really like shoes. I'm a sneakerhead at heart. I don't know much about the ins and outs of sneakers, but I know I just gravitate to sneakers like I gravitate to a good high heel. Now, I don't wear heels too tough like that, but they look like candy to me. And it's like, just like the sneakers, I like to collect them and just be like, ooh, that's a bad shoe. Yeah, and just talk about it. So on Fusion Fridays, around the 2:45 p.m. marker, a 30-minute music loop just plays where we just chill and vibe in the chat and listen to the music. And if you're in there, talk about the shoe. So it's a lot of nice things that I have allocated for Fridays, Fish Fry Fridays and Fusion Fridays music. Thank you for bearing with me while I get business done in the background, far as putting the links in there so you can watch the video, because the minute I end this live stream, I may just forget. Thank you so much. I love your hair, girl. Thank you. I just washed it yesterday and blow dried it, and it actually turned out decent, because last week I did the same thing, and for some reason the results weren't all that great. My hair, after blow drying my hair last week, after washing it last week and blow drying it, the results, you see how fluffy my hair is? Well, when I did my hair last week and used the blow dryer, it was super matted. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's not supposed to be this way. But this time it turned out. So thank you so much. Exactly. So earlier, my cool peeps were also saying that it's the Mandela effect. I know, and I've seen the movie Wonder Years. So what I was saying, including to myself, hold true to what you know, you feel, believe, and what you have seen. Because AI is here for us as a guidance. It's a compass, but it's not an end-all, be-all. And AI also says at the bottom, AI is prone to make mistakes. But yeah. For example, when I was talking about Morning Moo, I was talking about Hamburger Helper. And I was telling my cool peeps that there was something in reference to Hamburger Helper that nobody seems to remember. And I was like, I know for certain I've seen that. I smelled it. I witnessed it. I tasted it, because that was the year I was born. So I was enthralled and submersed in it. So I looked back in time into some Google pictures, and sure enough, there was that set picture I was talking about. So I think sometimes it don't necessarily have to do with the effect of that. I think what it has to do is with the effect of so many generations being alive at the same time, having memories of things from their time. And it's hard actually for the system to keep up with everything because the system is always updating. So it's got so much information coming in from 4 generations at the same time. Something's going to break. So, like I said, in reference to the Wonder Years being a movie, because I kind of thought the same thing, it said that there was talks for a Wonder Years movie to be out. There was also somebody like who was going to run the show, but it never got lifted up off the ground. So let me bring something up here quickly about the Wonder Years movie. Hang on, I'm going to rephrase my questioning to see if we can get a little bit more in-depth answer. Thank you guys so much for pressing the like button. I have tons of likes and I really appreciate it. Thank you guys. So about the Wonder Years movie, can you please tell me more about it? So let's see here. So about the Wonder Years movie, can you please tell me more about it? There is no official Wonder Years movie that was ever produced or released, according to AI Overview. The show's creators considered making the original concept into a film script, but it was ultimately developed as the acclaimed television series that ran from 1988 to 1993. While some internet fan pages mentions a quote planned or quote upcoming movie adaptation, these are unofficial ideas and speculation, not a real production. The franchise consists solely of the original TV series 1988 through 1993, starring Fred Savage and Kevin Arnold. Kevin Arnold! A reboot TV series from 2021 to 2023, which followed a black family in Montgomery, Alabama during the same late 1960s era. The original series finale wrapped up the story of Kevin Arnold's youth with a voiceover from adult Kevin, but the story ended in terms of the official canon. There's that word again, canon. Gets me every time because I think of a cannonball. Boom! English language, I tell you, every time. He played in Arachnophobia. The Spider movie. Was he the guy who was the exterminator? Was he the exterminator in Arachnophobia? I have not seen Arachnophobia in a long time. But if you've seen Stranger Things, it reminds me of season 3? When that guy, when that spider, that ectoplasm spider thing was, it broke out into the town and it was all in the mall. Oh, now that's Arachnophobia. Yeah, so that's cool. Were there other attempts to expand the Wonder Years franchise? Are there any official movie scripts or treatments? Can you please me more about the woman who was going to partake Okay, let me see. Hello, welcome in from friends. How are you doing today? Yay! Hello! I found some more information about the movie, the Wonder Years movie. It says there is no concrete information about a specific one who was going to partake in making an official Wonder Years movie because a movie was never officially put into production. The original TV series was created by the writing of duo Neil Marlins and Carol Black. Carol Black was the co-creator, writer, and producer for the show and played a pivotal role in shaping its nostalgic tone and themes. If a film version had been made instead of a TV series, as was initially discussed, she would have been a primary creative force behind it. He also played in one of the Godzilla movies. Cool. Thank you for that fun fact as well. I'm not sure if I can place him in one of the Godzilla movies. The recent one I watched is the Godzilla movie with Elle from Stranger Things in it. So was he in that one? In reference to the Wonder Years movie per se, the main woman associated with the original show that fans often follow is actress Danica McKellar, who played Winnie Cooper. After the show ended, she largely stepped away from acting for a time to focus on mathematics. Aww, that's cute and sweet, eventually becoming a New York Times bestseller author of several math books to encourage girls in STEM fields. She has since returned to acting primarily in TV movies and has also written, directed, and produced short films. In the case of the reboot series 2021 to 23, the developer was Saladin K. Patterson. That's a cute name. We've got Aladdin and now we've got Saladin with an S. And it did not involve a woman in the lead creative role. In summary, the key woman behind the creation of the original nostalgic World of the Wonder Years was co-creator Carol Black. But this was for the TV series, not movie. Let me check this out. There's no public information about a specific woman of interest or producer who was trying to get the Wonder Years movie off the ground that ultimately failed to materialize. The original concept for the show was, in fact, initially pitched as a movie script by its co-creators, Neil Marlins and Carol Black, but they developed it into a TV series instead. The most prominent woman associated with the original show production side was Carol Black, the co-creator and executive producer. The show did end abruptly in 1993, which the actress who played the mother, Allie Mills, attributed to SA lawsuit filed by a female costume designer against Fred Savage and Jason Harvey, a claim Mills called completely ridiculous, end quote. The lawsuit was settled out of court and the network decided not to pursue a 7th season, meaning the show ended as a TV series, not because a movie deal fell through. In addition, the only other significant production-related news concerning the woman involves the reboot series, as you were saying, 2021 through 2023, where Fred Savage was fired as an executive producer and director following an investigation into multiple allegations of inappropriate conduct brought forth by a group of 6 women on the crew. And lastly, there has never been a confirmed officially planned feature film adaptation involving a woman producer that was in public development and subsequently stalled. So people still likely think there was a Wonder Years movie for a few key reasons. Cinematic feel of the TV show. Initial concept was a movie. The creators Neil Marlis and Carol Black were actually... Here we go. Here's something to circle around. Initial concept was a movie. The creators Neil Marlis and Carol Black were actually toying with the script for a future film that featured an off-screen narrator, but they decided to develop it as a television series instead. This initial intent may be a lingering piece of trivia that fuels the persistent idea of a film version. Movie ideas wiki. Entry. There is an unofficial entry on the Movie Ideas Wiki that describes the speculative fan-made concept of the Wonder Years movie, complete with fictional production details. This kind of misinformation can easily be mistaken for real production news online. Nostalgia and desire for a reunion. The show ended in 1993, and its poignant finale left many fans with a desire for more closure or revisit of the characters as adults. Yes, you can take your cow to the museum. Anything is possible. Takes a sip of water, looks at the camera, and moves on. This ongoing fan interest and nostalgia often led to rumors and speculation about rivals or movies, which frequently do not materialize in Hollywood. And lastly, internet rumors. In the early days of the internet, mid-1990s, rumors about the show's cast were common, the most famous being the debunked myth that actor Josh Savano, Peter Pfeiffer, grew up to be Marilyn Manson. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that one. Oh man, if that's not an old school rumor. Oh man, I totally forgot about that rumor. Internet rumors in the early days of the internet, mid-1990s. Rumors about the cast were common, the most famous being the debunked myth that actor Josh Savano, Paul Pfeiffer, grew up to be Marilyn Manson. The general environment of fan speculation online life contributed to similar unofficial movie rumors. Now that's a great way to end the live stream for today. I remember that rumor before I knew what the word rumor was. I think it was like gossip or something. I totally forgot about that, and that's good memories. Hi, hello, how are you doing today? We have a lot of cool people who came in. I want to thank you guys so much for giving of your time, because we have so many people in this YouTube multiverse, and you decide to spend your time here with me. I want to thank you for participating in the poll. 45 cool people participated in today's live stream. Have you seen the Hercules the Shark Thanksgiving special? 65% said no, and a lovely 22% said yes, and 13% said, oh heck, I didn't, but will now. So Hercules the Shark will be on tomorrow's live stream, backed by popular demand, at the 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time slot. And so having said that, I want to thank all you cool peeps for putting your best foot forward and moving on. Thank you, Tarsus. Yeah, and I want to remind myself to write down this internet rumor, because that might be something we can talk about next week or something. So before I get off this live stream, because there's something about me hitting that live stream power off button, I too power off, and I'm not a robot. And then I go back into my routine getting breakfast. So before I get off of here, I want to make mention, we talked about the Wonder Years. So I'm writing down about the really cool early 1990s rumor about Marilyn Manson being one of the guys who played in Wonder Years. Thank you for coming in. Wish you happiness as well. I'm actually at the end of the live stream, but I want to write down some notes so I don't forget. Thank you guys so much for coming in, liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. My name is LA, pronounced like LA, like the city. I'm not from there, but I'm breezy. You guys have a great day. I will be on again a little later. I'll be in a different onesie, and I'll be talking about something completely different. And you guys, there's a different energy over there too. So just know if you come in, you all are still welcome, but we talk about something completely different. So all are welcome. Have a great day. What's going on, Judge Shady Court? We're just about to leave. How are you doing? I was letting everybody know that I'll be back on again later on today, but I'll be covering like the Joe Budden content. And I like that. And the energy over there is completely different from the morning moves in the morning. So I'm just letting them know. But it's still an all are welcome situation. Good morning. You're doing a great job over there, Judge. Be safe. I know you know what you're doing, but from a place of love. I love you. Be safe. You're doing a lot of good reporting, and I look forward to your other channel coming back on. You are like a radio lady, and I like how your voice sounds. That's what caught my attention for me to follow you in the first place years ago. Your radio style presentation. So shouts out to you and doing all those cool things. Keep up the good work. Have a great day to you too, Tarsus. My name is LA. I'll see you guys later, and be safe. I love you all. Bye.